Well, boy, we are going to end the week with a bang here on the Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. We've all seen those videos, right, of dominoes stacked up, and then somebody hits the first domino and they start to fall. It's mesmerizing, is it not? As long as the dominoes don't fall on you. Well, the dominoes may be starting to fall, and unfortunately, they are going to fall on you, but the short-term pain may be worth the long-term gain as the latest jobs report is out. Oh, we always hear from Joe Biden, what? Bidenomics is working, it's working. And he always cites the unemployment numbers, right? And he always cites the job numbers. And last month, the jobs numbers were 330,000, and never mind, don't dig into the fact that about 70,000 of them were in healthcare and 70,000 of them were in government, neither of which makes anything or produces anything or drives the economy, which is why the gross domestic product number for the first quarter of 2024, released a week ago, was depressingly bad, almost a full percentage point under. And now we have the latest jobs report. And as I said, the dominoes are starting to fall, and they are going to fall on you and on me, but the short term, as I said, pain may be worth the long-term gain, because maybe this will get Joe Biden out of office and get back in a president who understands how to grow the economy, and it isn't with government jobs and it isn't with healthcare jobs. A headline from Yahoo Finance: the U.S. labor market cooled notably last month as both hiring and wage growth slowed more than economists had expected in April. I know Karine Jean-Pierre is really good at her job lying for Joe Biden, which of course means she's really bad at her job in terms of telling the truth to you and me. But I want to know how she's going to spin this. The U.S. economy added 175,000 new jobs, and the unemployment rate rose to 3.9% last month. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Wall Street economists had expected 240,000 new jobs. That's a big gap. My West Liberty Salem High School math tells me that's 65,000 jobs short, and they expected the unemployment rate to remain at 3.8%. Wages, those are kind of important to the average American family trying to deal with gas prices that are more than $1 more than they were when Donald Trump left office in January of 2021, and grocery prices that are up 18%. Wage growth is kind of important to all of us. They rose 0.2% over the last month and 3.9% over the last year, but economists had expected them to rise by 0.3% and a 4% rise over the past year. So wages are underperforming, jobs are underperforming, gross domestic product is underperforming. And we always, after getting the numbers, get a month or so later the revised numbers. I don't know why they can't get the numbers right. Maybe it's because, it's the Biden administration. But we always get the revised report later on. And the revised report for February, when we got the really, really, really good jobs report, right, of 270,000, well, as they say in the NFL on a disputed call, upon further review, February's job growth was revised down to 236,000 non-farm payroll jobs from the 270,000 reported previously. That's not good. Economists flagged revisions as important to watch, you think? As the last year has seen, listen to this closely. I know I've overwhelmed you with job numbers here and percentages and different metrics and all that, but listen to this really closely, because not that the previous stuff wasn't important, but this is really important to the case the Biden administration is going to make about soft landings and the economy growing and things are better, even though you knuckleheads are paying more at the grocery store, and please don't hold us accountable for that. This is really important. The last year, this is according to economists, has seen the average month's payroll gains revised down by 13,000 jobs. So what they've been telling you about more and more jobs every month, now that they look back in the last year, going back to April of 2020, 2023. They now know that they've given you, on average, a rosier outlook for jobs by 13,000 per month, which, let's see, multiplied by 12 would be over 100,000 jobs that they've overestimated. Oh, here's another sterling number for the Biden economists to spin. The average work week fell from 34.4 hours to 34.3 hours. Now, that's not that much, but what it indicates is a trend that people are working less, getting paid less. More people are out of work, and there's an unemployment rate that we get, which is 3.8%, 3.9%, and the Biden administration always says, oh, look at that rate, it's the lowest ever, it's the longest duration of the unemployment, under 4% ever. There's another unemployment number that, as our friend Josh Pick from Aptus Wealth Management has told us before on the Aptus Retirement Blueprint radio show, and quite likely will tell us again tonight when we stage the show here on The Answer at 7 p.m., there's another unemployment number that tells the real story because, maybe, I hope you're not, I've never been in this situation where you've been without a job so long that you just give up on finding a job, or you just retire or pull out, or you retire early, or you go on food stamps or whatever. The unemployment rate that includes the unemployed and those marginally attached to the workforce. So let's say you had a full-time job, it was a good job, it was providing for your family, and then you got laid off, or your company went out of business, and you went to find another job, and you can't find another full-time job, but okay, you can find 10 hours a week, so you're marginally attached to the workforce. That number of people in the workforce is not under 4%. It's not a laudable number that Joe Biden can brag about. That number is 7.4% of the workforce. So that's the real, actual. I feel it in my stomach. I feel it in my wallet. Psychologically, it wears on me every day. Unemployment rate of 7.4%. This guy is a horrible president. Domestically, internationally, morally, he's a horrible president every single possible way he can be. And the Democrats thought yesterday they could send Joe Biden out to condemn the campus chaos and he could make everything better by reading off a teleprompter. They jammed him full of Skittles and Mountain Dew and whatever else amps him up enough so that he doesn't look like the addled, old, infirm, inept puppet that he is. And he, said some things that had he said them 9-10 days ago would have been welcome to hear. This wasn't a horrible speech, but notice that he leaves one thing out. What he left out is how he's going to uphold that rule of law, what he's going to do about it. He also missed an opportunity to educate the idiots on campus. What would have been wrong? Nothing. With him saying, the students who are on campus at NYU, at Columbia, at Wisconsin, at Ohio State, at UCLA, at USC, you're too young to know or too zealous in your co-opting of your minds by your professors to understand that the seeds that have been planted in your heads that have manifested itself in this kind of behavior perpetrated on the world one of the worst eras in human history, where Jews, 6 million of them, were murdered. And what we saw on October the 7th by Hamas terrorists, and the Biden administration has never said that Hamas is not a terrorist organization. They are a terrorist organization as designated by the U.S. government, which I think is currently staffed and headed by the Biden administration. What would have been wrong with him educating, emphasizing, highlighting how wrong these students are to be doing what they are doing, how wrong the faculty is that is leading them astray. That's what leaders do. They clarify, they chart a course, and they set forth, this is where we stand, this is why we stand here, and this is what we're going to do going forward. And if you get in the way of it, you are going to be arrested. If you are a student, you are going to be expelled. If you are an outside agitator, you are going to be deported if you're not a U.S. citizen. He could have done that. He doesn't want to do that. Because why? He knows it'll hurt him with a fringe, the furthest left fringe of his electorate. Because Joe Biden doesn't care first and foremost about what a president should care about, the safety of America. All right. We are off and running. I apologize. When I play audio, I got to try to remember to turn my mic off so you can hear the audio. And I didn't do that. And I know it kind of leaves you in the dark if you're watching on Twitter or if you're watching on my Facebook pages. I'll try to remember to do that in the future. So thanks. So I apologize.
On 98.9 FM, The Answer, where every week you're going to get world-class lifestyle education from myself.
Nope, wrong lower third. There we go.
So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, be sure to tune
my man, Brandon Schreiner. Hey, I got to duck out studio for a second. I'll be right back.
The Answer.
Revive your health radio with Dr. Brandon Schreiner, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 and Sunday morning from 9 to 10 on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quote. Call 800-353-2973 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-353-2973. That's 800-353-2973. What do you have to lose? Call 800-353-2973. Again, 800-353-2973.
Nowadays, $20 barely gets you a burger and fries, or maybe a quarter tank of gas, right? You know what it'll take to get you through? How about this? $20 a month. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data from my sponsor and my cell phone company, Pure Talk. You'll get the same quality of service as AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile, but for about half the cost. The average family of four saves nearly $1,000 a year, all with no contracts and no activation fees. You can bring your phone or get great deals on the latest iPhones and Androids. Make the switch today and save an additional 50% off your first month. Choose a wireless company who shares our values, who supports our military, our veterans, who creates American jobs, and who refuses to advertise on the fake news networks. Instead, they support us. Dial pound 250 from your phone, and when prompted, say the keyword Mike Gallagher, and make the switch to Pure Talk, so you can actually afford that burger and fries. Dial pound 250 and say the keyword Mike Gallagher, and switch to Pure Talk.
Are you retired and struggling financially? If you own your home, you could turn your home's equity into financial freedom. Hi, I'm Andrew Del Rey.
And I'm Todd Avakian with Sierra Pacific Mortgage. A reverse mortgage gives you the cash you need while you continue to live in your home. We recently helped an elderly man barely surviving on his Social Security income. Alone and facing foreclosure, he was afraid he'd end up on the streets.
But he had a lot of equity in his home. So we put the pieces together, cleared the challenges, and got his reverse mortgage funded before his foreclosure deadline. Now he's living comfortably, enjoying his golden years.
It was one of the most heartfelt experiences of our career. To find out if a reverse mortgage is right for you, give us a call. There's no obligation, just information. We're here to help make your life better. Call Sierra Pacific Mortgage at 888-1172. That's 888-1172. Or visit us online at andrewandtodd.com.
BruceHooley.com is the site to go to if you would like to explore the possibility of redoing the flooring in your home. I can help you out. And also PatriotSwitch.com products. PatriotSwitch.com products are phenomenal, good for the environment, good for you. How are they good for the environment? Well, they cut down on plastic waste because they'll send you a bottle of countertop cleaner and you go, whoa, I paid what for this? 12 ounces? That's it. It's very small. It's not as good as my big bottle of Ajax that I got at Walmart. Well, that big bottle of Ajax you got at Walmart has about 10 ounces of water in it. We figure you have water in your own home. We figure you have plastic bottles in your own home where you can mix this concentrated cleaner into it. It's plant-based, so you can drink it if you want to. It won't taste very good, but it won't harm you. They've never paid a product liability settlement, and their products actually work. Mouthwash, toothpaste, body lotion, makeup, countertop cleaners, detergents. Oh, they're phenomenal. PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce or BruceHooley.com, PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce. Jobs report out today. Not good. I sounded a little like Trump there. Not good. It's a disaster. It is. Wages are down. Unemployment revised. Soft landing. Yeah, soft landing, no. Dominoes are falling. They're falling on you, but again, might be good long term if we get rid of Joe Biden. It's definitely going to be worth it. Here is Donald Trump as he arrived in court today, starting strong with comments. This is what I like to hear out of the president every day. Okay, we all know that. Once he starts talking about the trial and even the campaigning, it just lands a little like, okay, been there, done that, heard it before. But the job stuff was good. Was really, really good. This morning, before Trump even got to court, and he arrives around 8:30, 8:45, New York police, NYPD, broke into the student encampment on the campus of NYU. I used to work with a young man who went to NYU. He was very proud of going to NYU. He was Jewish. And I've often wondered over the last couple months what he's thinking about. And he's a big, huge Democrat, like the Democrat of Democrats, okay? Like the liberalist Democrat of all time. I've often wondered what this young man thinks now watching his former university devolve into an anti-Semitic cesspit. Here's Molly Line of Fox with how things developed this morning on the NYU campus. Oh, poor babies.
Leave the NYPD pretty quick here, very efficient, and cleanup now underway at this site. Over at Columbia, very interesting, in the wake of arrests after the NYPD was mobilized to clear a campus building there where protesters had broken in.
Check this out.
Illegally. The student editors at the Columbia Law Review are urging the school to cancel exams and give all students passing grades for their work throughout the semester, or as an alternative, they suggest Mandatory pass-fail. They write on social media that the violence we witnessed has, quote, irrevocably shaken many of us. The events leaving peers unable to focus and highly emotional during this tumultuous time. Since April 18th, police have arrested or detained roughly 2,000 protesters during protests on at least 44 different college campuses across 24 states.
Aw, I'm just so sorry for those poor babies at Columbia in the law review. It's just left them unable to focus. Irrevocably shaken, highly emotional. And they want free grades. They want free passing grades. Because, you know, if you give the Columbia Law Review students passing grades, if you cancel classes for the rest of the semester, and if you let them, you know, suck their thumbs and clutch their pearls, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that will fill the bellies and quench the thirsts of the poor refugees in Gaza. I mean, free grades for some entitled kids in New York City. I mean, I can just imagine the hungry kids in Gaza are going, wow, I'm not hungry this morning. What a bunch of snowflake morons. Elon Musk posted this Twitter poll. Proposed law. If someone tears down the American flag and puts up another flag in its place, that person should get a free but mandatory one-way ticket to the country of that flag's origin. It has received almost 1.5 million votes so far. 80% in favor, 20% not in favor. That is a great plan. That is a super, super, super good plan. Have you noticed, in addition to the searing accuracy of Megyn Kelly's assessment yesterday of these protesters, that they are kind of disheveled and not very attractive people? They look super unhappy. And my observation that they almost look robotic and zombie-like. That they also apparently have no idea about personal hygiene or the area around them. Like, have you seen these encampments? Really incredible. And they also, of course, have a problem telling the truth. Here's William Lajeunesse with the story from the West Coast, which starts with a protester from UCLA where there's a train wreck of a site left behind by morons who adopt the view of this gentleman. I think as I thought about this and I looked at this overwhelmingly messy area left behind, and the story was the same at Hamilton Hall, at Columbia. The story's the same at Portland State, where the library is a train wreck after these kids broke in and spent like one night. I mean, they just turned the place into a dump. It's a landfill after they get in there. And I thought about, how do we get here in this country, okay? And we talked a lot about the parallels between now and 1968. There was something in place in 1968 that's not in place now. That if we reinstituted it now, I think we could put ourselves on a course to correct some of this nonsense. I'll share it with you next.
SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street is rallying this morning following release of the April jobs report by the government, hitting the brakes on hiring, that is. Employers grew their payrolls by just 175,000 jobs. The financial markets hope it will convince the Fed to cut interest rates, perhaps in September. Flooding, the result of torrential rains. The swamped parts of southeast Texas, including Harris County, as well as the city of Houston. The flooding expected to continue into the weekend. Rainfall totals.
Sorry about that. I forgot to change the lower third.
In some spots. Connecticut's governor hopes a stretch of I-95 in southwest Connecticut can be reopened by Monday morning. A gasoline tanker truck crashed and burned, damaging a bridge, closing I-95 at Norwalk, Connecticut. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 371.
At Portland State Police retook control of a library now filled with graffiti and trash.
Freedoms and retirement savings threatened by the globalist agenda. Wealth Protection Research is on a mission to find whistleblowers who are exposing these schemes. Real patriotic financial warriors like Jim Rickards and Porter Stansberry. They're not afraid to tell it like it is and fight back against the system. Now, with the 2024 election storming our way, your IRA and your 401k may be in the crosshairs. That's why we've compiled our 3 favorite ideas into our Election Protection Report. You definitely won't hear any of these in the mainstream news. Get your free copy of our Election Protection Report now. Just text TRUTH to 76626. Plus, today you'll also get a free gold investment kit from our sponsor, Augusta Precious Metals. Text TRUTH to 76626 now and get the free report and gold investment kit. The fight for your financial freedom is on. Text the word TRUTH to 76626.
Standard texting.
He's one of the top 10 radio hosts in the country. He never varnishes his opinions. And now, more than ever, you need to spend part of your day with a healthy dose of the Mike Gallagher Show. Weekday mornings from 9 to 11 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Headmaster Hull here from Dublin Classical Academy. At Dublin Classical Academy, we have the tuition-free solution to relieve concerns about the current public education system. Dublin Classical Academy is the first Hillsdale College-supported tuition-free school in Central Ohio. It's a content-rich, classical liberal arts education that includes instruction on moral character and civic virtue.
Join us for parent information.
Okay, so who's making those and enforcing those?
The SJP.
SJP. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
You're not allowed to film.
By what statute? By what California statute? The First Amendment?
By the rules of the encampment.
Okay, so who's making those and enforcing those?
The SJP.
SJP is telling me what I can and can't do.
On Instagram. Well, in the encampment.
Huh?
To be in the encampment, you have to follow
So you guys purchased this land from UCLA?
No,
Lydia, get over here right now. You purchased this land from UCLA? Lydia, you know what I just said? You need to stay next to me. Because these punk ass security guards is in my face. Oh, for real?
No, right here.
Oh, this one?
No, this one.
Oh.
Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code SCORECAT.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM. The Answer. Anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers. Tune in or iHeart.
Well, that jobs report and the lagging wages and all the other economic numbers should certainly motivate you to try to grab all the free money you can. And we are here to help at 98.9 The Answer with the $13,000 Get Caught Up sweepstakes. It runs now through Sunday, June the 9th. Everybody's got car payments, credit card payments, home loans, student loans. That's a lot of debt out there. Let us help you pay some of it off. No, Joe Biden's not going to forgive your debt, but we may enable you to pay it off if you are a winner. The grand prize winner gets up to 10 grand. The two first prize winners will each receive $1,000, and we'll have 2 second prize winners who will each receive $500. Increase your opportunity to win when you enter once each day through June the 9th. Plus, you can earn bonus entries when you complete optional activities. Just imagine that debt off your back forever. The $13,000 Get Caught Up sweepstakes today. Enter at 9890answer.com. So I have a solution to the unrest on college campuses. It's a solution that will not be implemented unless we get overwhelming majorities from the 2024 presidential election, and even then I doubt that it would be even proposed. But I guarantee you it would work. And what I propose is at least strong consideration of the reinstitution of the mandatory military draft. We have a mind virus in our country. We have a mind virus, gender dysphoria, entitlement, all this stuff. Just listen, here's a UCLA student in a mask, of course, in the encampment before it was broken up by LA police officers, and a guy approaches with a camera, conservative approaches with a camera. I'm not sure what media organization he's with. But listen to what the student tells him. Students for Justice in Palestine. Okay, so you guys purchased this land from UCLA. You're telling me to get out of here. I can't film. By what statute? There is no statute. They don't own the land. He asked him later, you purchased it? Well, I think he asked him in that clip. You purchased this land from the state of California? No, of course not. Entitled. You're not allowed to film here. Who says? Now, here's William Lajeunesse with more from the West Coast, but West Coast, East Coast, and it's creeping, it's moving, it's oozing, and it will eventually overwhelm us as a nation. We'll collapse long before it ever gets all the way through Middle America. But just listen to this William Lajeunesse report, and particularly at the end, where an offer is extended that none of these idiots will take advantage of. Of course.
If you believe trashing a library on campus will impact events in the Middle East, then you're delusional.
I've seen one of the most peaceful protests I've ever been a part of, and I'm just seeing the cops out here, and honestly, I'm outraged at the intensity of the situation because I really don't think it was as bad as they've made it out to be.
All right, I'm gonna stop that right there because I want you to tell me how you picture in your mind the person whose words you just heard. I'm gonna play the words again, and I want you to get a picture in your mind of this person, male, female. Give me your idea of who this person is.
I've seen one of the most peaceful protests I've ever been a part of, and I'm just seeing the cops out here, and honestly, I'm outraged at the intensity of the situation because I really don't think it was as bad as they've made it out to be.
All right, male or female? Come on, male or female? I know, female, right? Nope. Nope. Non-binary? Nope. That's a man who goes by the name of Max Chamberlain. Max, pretty masculine name. Does that sound like a Max to you? That sounds like a Maxine to me. How do you think Max from UCLA would sound after a year in the United States military? We continue with William Lajeunesse's report.
24 tents popping up at the University of Washington Thursday. Wisconsin police removed 34 tents, only to see students erect 30 more in Madison, 90 arrested in Dartmouth. And at the University of Minnesota, students agreed to remove their tents after the university agreed to disclose their stock holdings and consider divesting from companies doing business in Israel. Students do have an option now. If you're dismissed from a U.S. college for being part of the protest, you now can get free tuition to attend university in Iran.
Now, he's not making that up. Free tuition in Iran. New York Post. An Iranian college is offering free tuition to U.S. students expelled for taking part in anti-Israel protests. You're our kind of person. Come on over here and let's kill Jews together. A professor called the protesters our people who would support Iran in a war with America. Yes! The head of Shiraz University, located in the southern region of Fars, made the scholarship proposal on state-run Iranian television while discussing the widespread wave of protests on college campuses across the U.S. I'm sure they'll be inundated with kids from Columbia and NYU and Ohio State and other Big Ten universities. What do you say? Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, UCLA, USC, Oregon. Won't they be? I mean, Joe Biden won't have to worry about paying off their student loans because they'll be free. They'll be free student loans. They'll be free tuition, not even student loans. Don't laugh at my suggestion about fixing this by requiring mandatory military service for 1 year. The mess you see left behind, the trashing of the Portland State Library, the inability of these entitled idiots to practice simple hygiene, to not understand that they can't go up to someone with a camera and say, you can't film here, Students for Justice in Palestine has taken over this area and you're not allowed to film here. They lack a basic understanding of the foundations of America. Now, I know you're saying, well, your military idea won't work because we got a woke military. We do have a woke military, but it can be fixed. I was thinking today about a speech, and I looked up the speech, and it just so happens that this is the 10-year anniversary of one of the greatest graduation speeches ever given. It was given at the University of Texas at Austin in 2014 by Admiral William McRaven. I want to play for you. He was a Navy SEAL. He, in fact, was the longest serving Navy SEAL at that time. And I want to play for you a synopsis of what he talked about SEAL training and how it effectively impacted him in just 6 months. Now, there's a high washout rate because this is what SEAL training is like. Again, this is from a graduation speech, University of Texas at Austin, William McRaven, 2014. Stress, chaos, failure, and hardship. Adversity. But it brings out the best in Navy SEALs. And a modicum of that, you tell me, would that enlighten these college students as to how privileged, how fortunate they are to have the lives that they have? Now, McCraven went on in this speech to outline 10 ways that UT Austin graduates in 2014 could change the world. And you think, wow, it's typical graduation speech nonsense, high-minded. No, he started with a simple instruction that he said ingrains a discipline that would serve these students well.
My instructors, who were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do was inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers would be pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right.
That's a wise perspective. We'll have more from that speech and how it applies to the youth of today next on The Bruce Hooley Show.
Clouds and not as warm. Couple of thunderstorms beginning this afternoon. Some of those could bring some heavy downpours. High 78. Evening shower and thunderstorm tonight. Otherwise cloudy. Low 62. Cloudy, warm, scattered.
And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the day. It will give you a small sense of pride. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the...
This is Josh Pick with Aptus Wealth Management. The U.S. and the world have certainly changed a lot in the last few years.
All right.
We're facing money dangers that we haven't seen in a long time, maybe ever. Inflation continues to be a problem. Interest rate increases have made purchases like cars and homes seemingly impossible for some, and retirement looks like a scary proposition. For many, it appears to be a dire situation and has left them paralyzed and fearful. You are not helpless, and there are ways to gain back control. In Aptus, we help our clients navigate the labyrinth of retirement planning and educate them on how to make appropriate choices for their individual situation. Whether you have never met with a fiduciary investment advisor before, or you just want a second opinion, we're here to help. Call our office today at 614-917-1040 and learn how a cost-free complimentary meeting may be the key to putting your money to work and your mind at ease. And don't forget to listen to the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley, and if you're like me, you're excited about the approach and eventual arrival of summer. I like being active, I like working in the yard, I like playing golf, I like being active at the shooting range. Those little aches and pains, though, well, they can intrude and they can take away from your enjoyment of the activities that you enjoy most. If you have that kind of pain, I'd like to introduce you to a possible solution. That solution is QC Kinetics, the specialists in advanced regenerative medicine. Why be tethered to doctor visits and medication when you can allow your body to do what it's designed to do, heal itself with the help of the professionals at QC Kinetics? Here's how it works. QC Kinetics withdraws the natural healing agents from your body, concentrates them. In the meantime, your body makes more, and QC Kinetics re-injects those healing agents into the affected area, and wow, the results are amazing. Find out more by calling QC Kinetics for your free consultation at 380-208-4544. That's 380.
That they're going to charge for all the products they have. By the way, Walmart just announced that they opened a new store, and they just announced that they're going to charge for all the products they have the same exact price it was charged before the pandemic.
Weekend. Listen along as we discuss the crossroads between the Bible and politics on a timely basis.
Listen to Capital Ministries Weekend, Sunday mornings at 7:30 on 98.9 FM The Answer.
The Caribbean is calling. Dennis Prager here. I invite you to join me on a Bible cruise this November in the Caribbean. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. We'll cruise to the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, and more while making unforgettable memories with like-minded travelers. Stroll through Curaçao's iconic pastel-colored shops and snorkel in Bonaire's world-class coral reefs. You'll enjoy some of the most delicious cuisine aboard Holland America's Rotterdam, a fantastic destination itself with riveting shows and spectacular views. This experience is more than a vacation, it's a chance to participate in profound discussions. The fresh insights I will share with you about the books of the Bible and current events should energize and challenge you. Mark your calendars, November 29th to December 8th, 2024. Learn more and secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure by calling 855-565-5519 or booking online at PragerBibleCruise.com.
Riverbend Ranch Steaks, we're having them this weekend at the Hooley household. If you're not having them, well, it's a you problem, because all you need to do is go to riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley, and very shortly, the no hormones, no antibiotics, Black Angus beef, they call it never ever, never hormones, never antibiotics, will show up on your doorstep. Frozen, yes, but that's how they preserve it in all of its perfect dry age goodness, as they ship it from the actual Riverbend Ranch out west, where they have the $160 million processing plant. So the cattle just walk right out of the grassland fields right into the plant, and they're not stressed by a long truck ride to some other plant or whatever. They're also not around other sick cattle. They're finished with grain grown on the ranch. They graze on grassland from the ranch. They drink mountain stream water. Does that sound like the kind of beef you would like? Not like the 16,000 pounds of beef recalled this week with all kinds of diseases and E. coli in them. RiverbendRanchSteaks.com/Bruce Hooley to get this beef in your home. RiverbendRanchSteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. So I grew up in a very disciplined home. My father was a World War II veteran, and he was a disciplinarian, and I didn't appreciate it very much when I was a young kid. I feared my father in a healthy way. I loved my father because I knew he loved me. And if you think you can't love your son or daughter and discipline your son or daughter, then you need to read the book of Proverbs, where it talks about the wisdom of discipline. And it also talks about fools. and fathers who do not discipline their children, and how that comes back to haunt parents later on. What we see on our college campuses is the indisputable evidence of horrific parenting. That's what we see. A lot of kids don't have two parents. That's a result of the Democratic Great Society, which has ruined families across the country. It has made divorce easier. No-fault divorce now is probably, I think, in all 50 states. Used to be hard to get a divorce. It used to be in communities kind of a black mark on your social standing if you were divorced. Not anymore. Now, true confession, I'm divorced. My first wife was unfaithful. Okay, it happens. Adversity, you move on. Adversity, these kids on campuses have never faced it. So they react the way they react. They think that not being able to have Chipotle and Starbucks brought into their little command posts on campus where they're trespassing, that's real adversity. That's not real adversity. Real adversity is pushing people to their limit, sometimes pushing people beyond their limit. And then those people find out, you know what, I'm capable of dealing with more than I ever thought I was. That used to be sort of the blanket wisdom of military service in our country. We now have a woke military, but at least in the military there's chain of command, respect for authority. Not as much as it used to be, not during my father's era in World War II, not up through the Vietnam War, probably not up until about, I don't know, when Barack Obama became president, when we started worrying about trans women being women and putting biological men in women's barracks in the military. That's a real thing. I know people that's happened to. But 10 years ago, William McRaven, the longest serving at the time Navy SEAL, gave one of the greatest graduation speeches in history at the University of Texas, Austin. And he talked about how if every UT graduate that year would affect 10 people, that could eventually, given the number of graduates, it's a big school, it's like Ohio State, could eventually affect millions of people in the world. Now, his advice was not unattainable. His deeds he outlined to do that were not unattainable, starting with the discipline of making your own bed.
After bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
Small task, but it ingrains discipline, and it does ingrain a sense of accomplishment. He went on to talk about more things, attainable things, easy things to do that ingrain attitudes that help people get through the day, and that also bring into perspective what adversity is and what adversity is not. So, in that vein, here's more from William McRaven's graduation speech at the University of Texas, Austin. Tell me, do you think any of the students you've seen protesting on TV over the last few days could handle being treated like this?
But it seemed that no matter how much effort you put into starching your hat, or pressing your uniform, or polishing your belt buckle, it just wasn't good enough. The instructors would find something wrong. For failing uniform inspection, the student had to run, fully clothed, into the surf zone, then wet from head to toe, roll around on the beach until every part of your body was covered with sand. The effect was known as sugar cookie. You stayed in the uniform the rest of the day, cold, wet, and sandy. There were many a student who just couldn't accept the fact that all their efforts were in vain, that no matter how hard they tried to get the uniform right, it went unappreciated. Those students didn't make it through training. Those students didn't understand the purpose of the drill. You were never going to succeed. You were never going to have a perfect uniform. The instructors weren't going to allow it. Sometimes, no matter how well you prepare or how well you perform, you still end up as a sugar cookie. It's just the way life is sometimes. If you want to change the world, get over being a sugar cookie and keep moving forward.
Get over being a sugar cookie, staying in your dress uniform that you've immaculately pressed and polished and trying to pass inspection, only to have the instructors tell you it's still not good enough, and you come to realize it'll never be good enough, and this is a exercise that may seem empty to you, but what does it ingrain? That adversity is not a college campus where they won't let you take over a library, but that adversity is oftentimes inexplicable and, yes, unfair, and that you can and should and must press through it if you ever want to accomplish anything in life. In other words, adversity makes you stronger, as Admiral McCraven demonstrated with this example of SEAL training.
Had standards, times you had to meet. If you failed to meet those times, those standards, your name was posted on a list, and at the end of the day, those on the list were invited to a circus. A circus was 2 hours of additional calisthenics designed to wear you down, to break your spirit, to force you to quit. No one wanted a circus. A circus meant that for that day, you didn't measure up. A circus meant more fatigue, and more fatigue meant that the following day would be more difficult, and more circuses were likely. But at some time during SEAL training, everyone made the circus list. But an interesting thing happened to those who were constantly on the list. Over time, those students who did 2 hours of extra calisthenics got stronger and stronger. The pain of the circuses built inner strength and physical resiliency. Life is filled with circuses. You will fail.
But that doesn't mean you're a failure. Press through.
For hard-working Americans who are tired of seeing their freedoms and retirement savings threatened by the globalist agenda, Wealth Protection Research is on a mission to find whistleblowers who are exposing these schemes. Real patriotic financial warriors like Jim Rickards and Porter Stansberry.
Hope you enjoyed the show this week. I enjoyed being with you guys. Somebody, a friend of mine said to me the other day that the comments feature on here is disabled. I don't know how that happened, and I don't know how to undisable it. But I'm going to try to look for that and find it and see if there's a way that I can change it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. I don't know if that's settings on Twitter, or if that's settings on LinkedIn, or if that's settings on my live stream platform. If anybody's got any insight into that. Trying to think. Email me, Bruce@SalemMedia.com. Bruce@SalemMedia.com, and I'll try to get that fixed, because I'd love to have your comments. The audience is big enough; we should have comments, but I can't figure out. Let me check under.
175,000 jobs added in April. It's a sign that persistently high interest rates may be.
No, I don't have a solution to it right now, just to figure it out. But I'll look at it. But thanks for watching. Hope you have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.